everyone, it's already the last Sunday in February, just 6 more days to a new month. In News Generation today, the first basic education certificate examination ends. We bring you the story of some determined students who walk over 2 hours to the library. Children ending up on the streets because they don't fit in at school. My name is Efo Akwa Harrison. Please stay with us. Remember, you can catch up with us on social media. It's facebook.com/newsgenerationgh. You can also find us on Twitter at newsgengh. Now, the St. Paul Senior High School will be reopened for third-year students tomorrow, Monday, February 23rd. Other students will return to their campus on the 27th of the month. All students are being asked to pay 90 cedis each for the destruction of school property. 2 weeks ago, riots sparked in the Volta Regional School. Students were unhappy school authorities had failed to adequately punish 2 boys who had allegedly engaged in homosexuality. A 17-year-old boy died in the incident when police sent to stop the riots accidentally fired shots at the students. Now, the maiden BECE resit ended on Friday. Some of the candidates have called on the Ministry of Education to take a second look at the centers where the papers were written. They have also asked for the ministry to adjust the 5 days used to write the exams. However, some of the candidates are hopeful of making it to senior high school.
25-year-old yam seller Isaac Pano is very hopeful. Isaac tells me he has been looking for a chance like this ever since he was 15. He failed his BECE papers 10 years ago and dropped out of school. He has been selling yam on the streets for a while now.
I was not doing anything, I just sitting down there. These days, then I start selling yams small. Yes, at Abu Blushi. Now then I hear say there is a private here, then I can register because it has kept long for me to use there. I have to renew before.
He sees this private BECE as an opportunity for him to achieve his goals of going to senior high school.
So I was happy, yes, because I read it. Because I was waiting to register like those who are going to write 215. I was able to join them, but as the private came, I said, okay, that one day it will be good. It will do faster, more than those who are going to write.
And he is not the only one. Some of the candidates applauded WAEC for giving them a second chance.
It's a very good idea that they have given us, and it's helped much of people, like a whole lot of people, especially, let me say this way, excuse me to say, like illiterates, that they don't have, even if they are going to work, they have to ask you, do you have GSS? And it gives us that opportunity.
I'm very happy I had this opportunity to write the second chance BECE.
Timothy Kwe is the supervising officer at the Accra Center.
There hasn't been any serious problem, apart from the first day where we had to relocate some of the candidates who couldn't get their numbers. We had to go through our registers and then put them at their appropriate places. There were absentees, but concerning more practices, there hadn't been any.
The candidates are appealing to WAEC to look at the time given for the exams.
The time they gave us for the BECs and stuff, and in maths they said 2 hours 45 minutes, but when we came here they gave us only 1 hour to solve about 6 or 7 questions. You know, maths to calculations and stuff are too many.
And all efforts to get the director of the Computerized School Selection and Placement Center have failed. Issues of how the resit candidates will be placed still uncertain. Now, some hospitals in Kumasi are charging between 3 to 5 cedis extra for electricity. How? Well, they want patients to help them pay to fuel their generators. Here's what's up.
It's definitely very appalling to hear such things because it's gradually reducing the population and the working population of our country. But we honestly believe that our leaders are working overtime to provide power. So we just beg that everybody stays with us and they agree with us so that we can find ways and means to solve the methods. Although this is not fair to anyone because some people are not able to get taken care of. I mean, children, when they are born, the incubators, there are no lights. It is not fair at all. But I believe that there's always going to be a solution. We elected them into power for a good reason. So I know that they are going to work very, very hard for us.
I think it's not fair to the patients because they might not have even enough money to even pay for the extra cost, and it might reduce our working population if they are not able to go for it and maybe they die or anything like that. So I think it should be.
I think it's not an issue that's going to help the hospital because the people living in the area may not be well to do, so they may not be able to pay that amount of money. So in the end, they will have a negative effect on the hospital, whereby they may lose patients, and then in the end, the hospital may break down.
I don't think it's fair because the patients might not even have enough money to pay for their hospital bills. Instead of paying 3 cedis or 5 cedis for electric bills. So I think the government should do something about it.
This won't be fair because in case the individual has a very delicate problem and they are not being taken care of immediately, it won't work out. You need to pay. It will be very difficult, especially if the person does not have the means to pay for it in addition to their medical bills. So it will be very unfair for that particular person.
I think it's unfair because ideally the electricity bill should be taken from what they normally give them, the medical bills. Also, the people might not have enough money to pay for the pre-bills before the hospital bills. Because they refuse to take care of patients who don't pay for it, those patients can also die. And in the end, it will bring down the production in the country. So it can really affect the country.
By tricycle, bicycle or foot? That's the question pupils of the Bulehego DA school face every Saturday when they want to visit the library.
Blagu is a sleepy village in the Tolon Kumbungu constituency. It doesn't have much going for it except a school compound, one in great shape by rural standards. But it is not boring either. The young people make the village tick on Saturdays. This is where it starts, the village square.
Library time, please.
Mahmoud Abdelmami, Hussein Abdel Fattah, Mohamed Mimna, Haruna Pai.
Those are 25 pupils on board the tricycle. They could afford the 3 cedi fare. Those who could not afford the fare have to find a bicycle or walk the 15-kilometer journey to Tamale. Walking the distance is not for cowards. Pupils go through rice fields, irrigation channels and dusty routes in the heat of the sun. Eight kilometers into the journey, there's a short break for water. Then everyone moves on. The rest of the 7-kilometer journey is done on the shoulder of the Accra-Tamale Highway. We've been walking for over 10 kilometers already. I haven't done the entire journey on foot, but they have, and I can't begin to imagine what they're going through. Some 3 hours and 15 kilometers later, the group on foot makes it to the library. That's 2 hours, 40 minutes after the groups on tricycle and bicycle.
I'm tired.
And that's also the exact closing time of the library, 2 p.m. But the library staff make an exception, and the children get 1 hour to read and borrow books.
We want to come to the library, but we don't have bicycles or money to enter the motorcades or the lorry. We don't have the lorry fare.
We don't have any book, and we want to continue the reading club. So that's why we are, and we decided to become here.
We can call the motorcade driver and he said that he won't go. So far, we ride bicycles. So as we are riding bicycle, we ride the bicycle to here and read and pick our books and go home. So because of library, that's why we are coming here to read it. So if there is library, we just sitting in our community and we read it.
It helps to improve our English. Some of us, we don't know how to read, and when we come and pick the books and go home, we have a meeting days. Every Mondays we are meeting. So when we meet, our headmaster will teach those of us who don't know how to read. He will teach them how to read, and they learn. And those of us, when we read and across a word that we cannot pronounce or we don't know the meaning of it, he will teach us how to pronounce it and teach us the meaning of it. Everybody will give him at least 5 words.
As we are reading, we are improving.
I became the head teacher of the school in 2010. So when I got there, I realized that the children could not read nor write. So I developed the idea of keeping the children in school after school hours. So I taught them using the phonics method to teach the children how to read. Then I asked that the children should buy my first copybook, which I guided them. It was on interest base, and the children themselves bought the books with the support of their parents, and they joined the club. I realized that the children themselves wanted football so much, so I decided to use the football. So play and read. That was the notion I put before them.
When I come to library, when I read, I'll write some keywords and send it home. We are having our petrol and asking the meaning of all of that words. And also help me when I come to library, it's open my eyes to certain things is here, then I ever see it. But when I come, I can see it.
The first batch who wrote just last year, we had 77% for the girls and 83% for boys. But on the whole, we had, on district-wide, we had 83% on the whole. So I know for now that if they couldn't read, they would not have been able to get that 83%.
After an hour, the journey starts again. 20 minutes by tricycle or bicycle, 3 hours by foot to the village. And that's how it will be until the village gets a library.
Now, if you have books or any kind of educational material you want to give to the children of Bulehego, kindly send them to Multi-TV office here in Kokomlemle, and we will make sure they receive it. We'll be right back. Now, imagine ending up on the streets because you want to go to school. Strange, isn't it? Well, this is Courage's story.
This is Courage. He's 13. Courage has dyslexia. This means he can't read or write well. He says he was always unhappy in school because his teachers said he was not intelligent.
I wasn't good in school. I couldn't read or solve maths problems. My teachers always beat me and my friends always mocked me. Due to this, I often took money and spent it somewhere, whilst I waited for school to close before going home. So I finally told my mom I couldn't go to school anymore.
Courage's mom moved him to Accra to stay with his aunt, but that made things worse for him.
When my aunt brought me to Accra, she refused to send me to school. Her money got lost and she accused and abused me for stealing her money. So I fled.
The streets have become Courage's new home.
It's almost 6 a.m. and this is home for children like Courage after begging throughout the day in Accra or carrying loads for people. This is where they come to take their rest, in front of shops here at Kaneshi Market. And they tell me it's really tough for them, but they have no alternative. Question, is there any social protection for children in Ghana?
But sleeping on the streets has come with more trouble than Courage ever imagined.
I don't feel good sleeping here. Sometimes, people come to cut our clothes into pieces, some to shave our hair when we are asleep. Others slap us because they are old, we can't fight back. They can steal your money or shoes before you wake up.
Courage does menial jobs to survive on the streets. But because of his desire to go to school, he has received some support from a nearby NGO. He attends school in the day and then it's back to the streets after. At the Special Attention Project Learning Center, Courage gets the attention he couldn't receive in public school.
This learning center is good. They give me more attention here. I can now read and write.
His teacher explains how he is handled in class.
We don't teach generally, as in the other main schooling. We have an individualized educational plan, which looks like helping the child learn a specific area of difficulty. So every child is taught or handled individually in the class.
And that is what the Special Attention Project, SAP, is focused on.
Although more children are going to school, many of them drop out before primary 6. Children that are going to start school in September today, 15% of them will not see it to primary 6. Additional 35% of them will not complete JHS. We have realized that repeated learning difficulties in school that has not been addressed by the school system is one of the major causes why children are dropping out of school.
But Courage does not know he has dyslexia.
UNICEF estimates that about 2.6 million children worldwide have disabilities, while others have special learning disabilities. Courage here is one of such children. and he enjoys playing draft at his leisure time.
Courage aspires to become a minister of state one day so he can improve the lives of the people in his village.
Now, some Catholic schools in Accra joined the Christ the King International School in a 2-day outdoor sporting event at the Elwak Sports Stadium. Some young people who spoke to News Generation say this is in line with their dreams of becoming sportsmen and sportswomen in future.
It is the second day of the Catholic schools outdoor games. These students participated in various sporting activities on the first day. Now it is football and athletics. Though most of these young footballers have not been able to score a straight goal, they are better converters of penalties, at least for the future of Ghana football. And their colleagues at the stands cannot hide their excitement. It is now time to check out the fastest boy and girl in the 400 meters and 4x100 finals. Students of Christ the King International School and other winners in the athletics competition shared their experience.
Well, I feel great. Having to know that I'm like the fastest in like 6 schools already. Actually, there's some guy in Corpus Christi. He's really fast. I was really surprised I passed them. Well, thanks to the team.
I think this sports event has been very good and very helpful because it has helped us develop talents we didn't know we had. Like, for example, today, some students we never knew could participate in athletics like this. They surprised everyone. So I think it's a very good sporting activity.
It's not easy, but if you know you can do it.
I'm inspired because of what I want to be in future. In future, I aspire to be a footballer. So I enjoy participating in sport activities so that I can develop my talent.
I'm very proud I could do it. Like when I'm starting, it's very hard because your heart beats a lot. But when you ask God, He will do it for you.
For me, I would like to take it to Usain Bolt's level. I want to be better than him or even equal to him, something like that.
Organizers of these outdoor games want a replica of the event in all schools to unearth talent.
So, English football club Chelsea has suspended 3 of its fans. The 3 have been banned from attending all the club's league matches until investigations are concluded by the club and French police. So, what exactly did they do? Let's find out in The World is Talking About.
In the following video, fans of English club Chelsea can be seen preventing a black man from boarding a train in Paris. The alleged racist incident took place on Tuesday at a Paris metro station when Chelsea fans were going to watch a game between their team and French side Paris Saint-Germain. In a move to dissociate themselves from the bad behavior of the fans, Chelsea released a statement saying 3 supporters had been identified and suspended pending further investigation. The swift action prevented those supporters from attending the club's Premier League match with Burnley at Stamford Bridge. The disgraceful incident has since been condemned by the football world. FIFA President Sepp Blatter tweeted, "There is no place for racism in football." British Prime Minister David Cameron also described the video as extremely disturbing and very worrying. Chelsea coach Jose Mourinho also says he is ashamed of the Chelsea fans who mistreated the man.
We feel ashamed, but maybe we shouldn't, because we are not. I refuse to be connected with these people. I'm connected with Chelsea. I'm connected with so many good things this club defends and represents.
Some young people shared their thoughts on the issue.
It's unfair. We shouldn't be treated in such a way as if we are animals.
I think racism, which is a discrimination according to color or race, isn't a good practice since it discourages development and unity among people. I feel bad because it's not my fault I'm black. It's God-given.
I feel sad and disappointed with them because we're all human beings. Even though we are black and they are white, that doesn't mean that we are different from them. So they should treat us equally. We're all creatures of God.
I feel disappointed like that human beings are treating their fellow human beings that way.
I'd feel sad, but I wouldn't feel really let down because if I'm proud of who I am, and if they do not accept me for being me, it is their own loss because they have no right to treat a fellow human being the same way they are treating others.
I think it's bad, and it's, for example, for the blacks, it lowers their self-esteem. They are not able to come out in public because they are afraid that they'll be looked down upon. So it doesn't encourage a good relationship.
I think they should be arrested.
I'll make sure that they are advised by the law enforcers to tell them how everyone is related to each other, because if not so, it doesn't bring about development, and the relationship between countries are strained.
I think they should be arrested and fined at the same time because it's sort of disgusting. They can't do such a thing to us. Because we are different from them doesn't mean they have the right to treat us like this.
Punishment they can give to them is to pay fines because I don't think they can be imprisoned because of this.
The fans, if convicted, could be imprisoned for 3 years. They can also be fined up to €45,000 or be banned from Chelsea games for life. The Paris incident follows a long-standing controversy over general racism in football.
We all know Chelsea is a massive club. It's a very multicultural club. They do a lot of good things in the community, and I feel sorry that they've actually been tarnished with this with this brush with this situation, because sometimes you can't control that. You can't control what people do in their personal lives. So as much as it's something that's happened in football, I've been saying for a long time that these are really social issues that really manifest themselves in a football world.
I heard some noises when I got into the metro station, but I didn't pay attention. I saw people doing some weird things. I saw the open door, so I got in. They pushed me back when I got in. I asked them why they were pushing me. They said, "You don't have anything to do here because you're black." I said, "It doesn't matter if I'm black or white, I want to go home, that's all." They pushed me back a second time, so I had to stay on the platform. They kept on saying racist words.
Let's wrap up with a roundup of stories. Muslims in the Western region took to the streets Friday in a peaceful demonstration to protest religious discrimination in schools. The aggrieved protesters claim Muslim girls have been prevented from wearing their hijabs and are forced to attend Christian church services in secondary school. Government has condemned schools which force the Muslim girls to go against their religion. A teacher at the Adembra Senior High School at Sekandi in the Western region has angered a lot of parents. He forcibly shaved the hair of several final year students. The debunking was forced on the students in the middle of their mock exams. According to one of the affected students, Alice Dixon, some of her colleagues were forced to abandon the mock exam. Her father, Nana Benyin Dixon, has sworn to take on the school authorities. Refugee camps in Lebanon have been hit with freezing temperatures. Children who had to flee Syria due to the war there are now dealing with terrible weather conditions in neighboring country Lebanon. The UN Refugee Agency, the UNHCR, is giving out emergency winter aid. Football club Chelsea has banned 2 more fans from attending Stamford Bridge. This comes after an alleged racism incident on the Paris Metroway on Tuesday. 5 fans have now been suspended after a black man was prevented from boarding a train before Chelsea's Champions League game against Paris Saint-Germain. Chelsea says if there is sufficient evidence of the individual's involvement, they will get life bans. The 25th edition of the Oscars will be held tonight. Birdman and the Grand Budapest Hotel lead the race for this year's Oscars with 9 nominations each. The award ceremony, which is the #1 star-studded event, crowns the best in Hollywood cinema. The Imitation Game, Boyhood, and American Sniper also have multiple nominations. 158 women and children who were abducted by Boko Haram militants last December have been reunited with their families. They were kidnapped during a raid on Katako village in Yobe State and spent about a month in captivity. The circumstances of their release are unclear, but they were eventually handed over to the state authorities for counseling and rehabilitation. And that's it for the weekend edition of News Generation. Thank you so much for staying with us. Remember, you can always catch up with us. We're on social media, facebook.com/NewsGenerationGH. Also find us on Twitter @NewsGenGH. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your weekend.